don't feel the need to check on me. Need you to know. Yeah. I'm all sound with a sober mind. Swear that shit so divine. When I had long days, I pull some wine. Them short nights of sleep killing me over time. It's open eyes to my bank account is over 9 figures, of course. The higher I climb, the bigger the fall. That's not the plan, but a nigga is cautious. How to stay afloat is what I fill up my thoughts with. When I need answers, I just whisper through God's ear. Within myself is where the answers live. I realize you don't have to be diagnosed to be cancerous. Each situation I eye close and I handle it. No need to linger. You niggas try and hold your cards close to your chest, but your body language is what I'm reading. Me saying less got you probably thinking that I don't see ya. I do. See, I don't miss much. Shout out to that text from South Africa. They been showing me big love. So if you callin', I'm busy. No, I ain't switch up. Can't say the same about a few. Niggas give up on themselves, abort their dreams, they try and blame it on you. You made the choice to not finish what you came here to do, it's true. Paralyzed by fears, that shit is crucial. My music is where you'll find my tears, that's what I'm used to. Expressions of emotions that I never... All right, man, we back. Welcome to another episode of Decoding 2 Sides of the System. I'm your host, King Trey. And y'all already know every episode I got my main man with me in a different spot, aka Big Stepper. I got my main man with me, Goof. Y'all already know the quote, do your thing. And man, we have someone on the show that met online, her spirit, her energy, just her drive, her passion is just tremendous. And she loves sunflowers, and sunflowers like really brighten up everybody's day. So I gotta introduce Miss Mallory to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And that was an awesome introduction. You got me all hyped up.
Thank you. I've been working on my introductions. I ain't gonna lie. I've been slacking these past couple, but man, please introduce yourself for the people and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Mallory Center, and I am from Austin, Texas. And I am the owner of Morphing Minds. It's a social emotional learning and personal and professional development program for teens and families. So, I'm out here just trying to help better some brains and morph minds. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited to be here and talk about, what we have to talk about. I think these conversations are to be had, and they're very important. And I think that we need to kind of talk in a language where, a lot of different people can understand, because if you haven't noticed, we are in the state of emergency for teen mental health. The suicide rates are super, super high. There's so many kids that are dealing with depression. There's this like big low anxiety type thing that's going on where everybody is kind of suffering from some anxiety. And so a lot of this stuff has to deal with social media, COVID, parents. I mean, there's so many different things. So I'm super excited to kind of dive in and talk about these things because, we need to talk about this stuff.
Sure, and that's a great thing. And before we start, I kind of like wanted them to know just a little bit about you or whatever. And like in these topics that we're going to talk about, there's going to be a lot of things on mental health. And before we start talking about those things, I want to know like what drove you to want to help people, because like you're so passionate about it and you care so much. So man, please let the people know.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I do suffer from mental health issues. Well, I mean, I've grown out of them and I've learned how to kind of manage them as an adult. But, growing up, I have parents who are drug addicts. I was living with my grandmother. I have alopecia. So there's so many different things that, gave me mental health issues, but it was a different time back then when we were growing up. So I've just kind of learned how to overcome that. I went to therapy. I was raised by my grandmother, who raised me really, really well. And she knew that I had some type of mental health issues because my parents did. So she sent me to get help for it. And I'm so grateful for that, because in the Black community, there's not a lot of people that actually take into consideration that some of the things that their child is going through is mental health related. and some things can't be fixed by the church, or some things can't just be fixed by prayer. You know, sometimes you actually need medical attention to actually fix what's ever going on in your head, you know? And
Mhm.
so since I was kind of going through so much at a young age, she put me in therapy. And so just to kind of fast forward, when I just recently graduated from Houston Tillotson University, HBCU baby.
Okay, go ahead, Queen. Take your talk. Go ahead, Queen.
And so when I was in college, my original plan was to go for human resources. I wanted to go for instructional design, um, organizational development, something human resources related in that realm. I wasn't quite sure, but I wanted to do something more like organization, where I was creating policies and procedures, going over ethics, diversity, stuff like that. Because I was in college during COVID, so I was just thinking, like, when we come off COVID, people are going to be kind of a little crazy. So I want to make sure that I can be the liaison between the employer and the employee for our type of people, because some people don't necessarily know how to react to us, because our passion tends to come off as aggression. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So I was like, let me just go and work in HR. I think it'll be really fun. You know, I can kind of coach people on how to like be great in the business world after coming from COVID, because we've all kind of dealt with a lot during that time. So I
That's
was like,
dope. That's dope. And not even to mean to cut you off, but just having that sense of mind to be able like to know that a lot of people were going through things during COVID. You know,
yeah,
like I was experiencing things as well. And that's actually when I got my first start and when I really started planning this, you know, just to get to this point. So like I think that's amazing that, you know, you had the mental fortitude to just know like, okay, like I want to like let me get in position so I can help people. You know, that's dope for sure.
yeah. Well, whenever you kind of when you have mental health issues, you kind of see it in other people. And like,
Mhm.
I've always been an advocate for it, you know, and like, because it's okay to not to be okay. It's okay to kind of have some type of struggle where you don't know how to kind of get over things. You know, people go through divorce, people have deaths, and there's so many different things that cause us to have trauma. And I don't think people kind of really understand how trauma affects our brain. And so I was like, while I'm doing all this stuff, I'm going to go to school to kind of understand the brain as well as psychology, because that's what my degree in. So back to, you know, me going to do the HR stuff, I was like, I'm going to go here, I'm going to be this person. I just, because I want to help people. But then COVID hit, it got deeper, and I was like, okay, I'm homeschooling, I'm trying to work from home. That stuff is really stressful for me. And that was very traumatizing for me, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have a job. I'm trying to finish school. I'm trying to be a mom. I'm trying to
And
be a
man,
teacher, do all
I
this stuff.
understand that. I understand that. I think
So,
oh sorry about that. Go ahead.
so
Nah,
I was like,
oh,
go ahead.
nah, nah, it's so cool. Nah, like this is the dynamic I love. Like we trying to talk and then the laugh is so beautiful. But I just want
Powerful.
to say, yeah, it is. I just want to say those the words of it's okay to not be okay. In today's world with social media and
Oh my
just
God,
the
yeah.
perception of how everyone want to be seen, they want to be seen like everything is good, or you know,
Yeah.
like they're videoing the best parts of their life, but that's only 4 seconds, but that's only 6 seconds, you
Yeah.
know, and they might not be okay on the other side of that. And just for you to say that, and I wish just for people to decode what I'm saying is just like it's really okay to not be okay. It's okay to need help. You know, in today's world, as people, as young kings and queens, we think we can finish things and we think we can do everything. Like we feel like we're Superman or Superwoman, you know, Batman, you know,
Invincible is what I
yeah,
say.
just invincible. And you know, it's a lot of like I always say, like it's a lot of cracks in our skin. You know, like God shows us we're human every day. If you walk and then you kind of cut yourself and you see a little cut on your skin, that's like, you know, that's what I mean by that. Like anything can get through them little seams, you know, those little cracks in your skin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I love that for sure. I love that. Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. So I be trying to stay on track, you know, because I get off topic, and a lot of the times we always have conversations within conversations.
Oh
It
nah, nah.
happens because some stuff is so powerful and
It
so
is.
impactful. You have to say what you have to say. It's like the spirit guides you, and it just comes to you, and it's like you have to get it at that moment. So I
Right.
completely understand.
Yeah, for
So
sure. For sure.
back
Yeah.
to the story.
It's Yeah, always speak from your heart, always speak from your mind, and always speak from a place of
Absolutely.
intelligence. And don't ever
Absolutely.
close, don't ever close your mouth to something that you're passionate about. Like I truly believe in that. Like if you believe in yourself, then you got to go get it. And before we start to talk about these mental health topics, this is a point that I really wanted to bring up on the podcast. And in today's world, or just in generations, especially for people of our color, they've been telling us to be humble. Like, you need to be humble and do this, which I truly do understand that. And
but what does that mean though?
yeah, you see what I'm saying? And like, yeah,
because people are humble,
right.
but then when they're humble, oh, you're acting funny, or oh, this. Okay, but what does that mean? Like, I need you to articulate that so people can understand. And people can't really say that. It's like, be humble, like I am. Like, how much more humble can I be? You know what I mean? And
right. And last episode that I dropped, not to even interrupt, but last episode I dropped, I said something of, I said I'm the catch. Like, I feel like I'm the catch when it comes to a lot of things. And it was involving relationships. And I said, I just truly know what I bring to the table as a man, just my self-love within myself and the love that I'm willing to give. And my mom, shout out to my mom. Shout out to my mom. My mom was like, you don't need to tell everybody you this or you that, you know, like it's cool. And no disrespect, you know, but this is something that we disagree on. And I feel like this is what they do a lot to our race. You know, we're great, but we're told to be great within a lane. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And my message to people.
But what does great mean?
Yeah.
When you ask people, like, what does that mean? You say to be great. So what does that mean? Because
exactly. But they try to water it down. Yeah, right. They try to water you. Yeah. They try to water your passion down. And for me, I just want people to truly, like, if you're great at something, it's okay to tell yourself you're great. It's okay to put it out there on your page or whatever, that you're great, that you're going to be successful. Because I'm a person that believes in manifestation, but I'm also a person that believes in what I say, and I believe in who I am. So if I say something, I meant that. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's funny that you say that, because at one point I used to feel bad because I was accomplishing so much and so many people around me weren't. And I was like, damn, I can't even like share my happiness without feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't be that way, but it's like, I care for people. So like, you know, I don't want to say it. And it's like, damn, you just told me all this bad stuff. And I'm just like, oh, guess what? This is what just happened. You know what I mean? It kind of seems insensitive, but it's like, this is what's going on in my life. You know what I mean? And too many people, just not too many, a lot of people in the world, everybody's kind of going through something. So I just got to the point where it's like, look, I'm going to celebrate my accomplishments. I'm still going to be here for you. I'm still going to be considerate of your feelings and everything, but I'm not going to join your sadness because that's what you're going through. I've worked so hard for everything that I have right now to doing what I'm doing. And it's like, I can't have nobody take that away. And how crazy of me to even feel sorry or feel bad to even say something because I'm going to care about how you feel. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm like, this time I don't care. I'm going to celebrate my wins and be happy and all that because I deserve that, you know? And if you think I'm cocky or if you think something else, hey, go, so be it. You don't know what I've been through to get to where I am today. So I deserve to be happy for where I am. You know what I mean? And so when people listen to me and they hear my story, they're like, man, you've been through a lot. Well, yeah. So I can be happy every day. I deserve to be smile and brag about everything that I've done. Like, I've worked extremely hard for it and nobody can take that away.
Exactly. Yeah. And lastly, just to end on that, sometimes when we it's hard for us to hide our accomplishments or hide how we feel when other people are doing bad. But I've noticed that aspect mentally, it drains you because like for you want to celebrate this with these people that you care about. And that's something that I had to learn. Like, I live on the other side of the world. And when I went back home to talk to my friends, they were on different things. So when I would try to say something or speak on that, they had nothing to say because they haven't experienced the experiences that I had. And I used to feel bad. Like, I just did all this and I can't even talk. You know what I'm saying? And I realized, like, mentally, like, I had to channel my energy into different things. Like, I love all my friends and they know I love them. But, you know, I was like, I can't even talk to y'all about certain things because when I start talking to y'all just flip the subject and start talking about something else. Like, y'all not even ready to receive what I'm saying. So like, I'll take this time. Yeah, right. Like, I'm not going to feel bad because, like, you know, like, even though you're going through something and I care, I don't still want that to water down what I want to say, you know, and it's a balance of that, you know what I'm saying? So
I completely understand and I feel you, right. 100%.
man, but let's get to this mental health thing. Let's get to this mental
Do
health.
it.
Get to this mental health. So mental health in communities, especially in the African American communities, is something that's not really publicized. It's something that is not really on the forefront. Like, yes, it is getting more attention, but still, just people of our race mentally are viewing this as you're weak, or I'm not talking to nobody about my problems. How they gonna help me if they ain't been through these experiences? How they gonna help me if they just read a book? How they gonna help? And I just think some of our people are numb to the greatness of mental health, to the impact of mental health. And it stems from the like a past time of thinking. Like in our communities, we always was taught, keep it in the household. You better not talk to nobody about our problems. Oh, we can figure this out as a family. Oh, that ain't that important. People out here going through more, like we always like water down our emotions within our race.
Suppressing those emotions on how we
Right. Right. And with that, it's really a bad thing, because when we look in the world today, if we look at George Floyd, if we look at Sandra Bland, if we look at just countless of others, and rest in peace to them people, rest in peace to those people, and rest in peace, like prayers for them, prayers for their families. But like, these people are examples of growing up in a community and being a certain type of skin color to where they don't get the respect that they deserve. And when I say that, I mean by justice. In our communities, we don't really get the justice we deserve when people are getting murdered, when just with all the impacts that we're going through in society. Like, we can't even, somebody can kill us on camera and get away with it freely. You know what I'm saying? And now, and that has transitioned into the streets. We got kings killing kings over nothing, over nonsense, rap beefs, and just all this type of things, and things that's not really important. You know what I'm saying? And it's hurtful, but it's the world that we live in. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is a lot of it infused with mental health, because we went through so much. Our ancestors fought for us. You got Dr. Martin Luther King, you got my idol, Malcolm X, you got Rosa Parks. And I'm just saying that for the mainstream people, but there's so many people behind the scenes that done took leaps and swings for us. But there was a whole lot of oppression with, segregation with schools. And I just feel like all that, because I'm a person that's big on history, you know what I'm saying, and big on energy, and learning what we went through in the past lets me talk about today, and we still fighting those same problems. You know what I'm saying? So mental health, I think, in our communities is so important, because we done went through years of that. Our ancestors have took those licks on the back, literally, slavery and whippings, and you know what I'm saying, noose around our necks. Like this is the world that we live in, and this is what we came from. And I just I just wanted to man, I just wanted to code that.
I know I was
talking so much.
And that's why I let you speak. I totally understand. And unfortunately, I think that it's just everybody, I can't say not everybody, but some of us as a culture, it's just that they're just a product of their environment. And that's just a thing that's within our culture. It's normalized. It just, history repeats itself. Just like the killings and all that, history is going to repeat itself. But we have to have more people like us who are coming to talk to our community about it. And we have to have people, like my business is, what I want to do is, let's turn that pain into power. Let's pick a role model from back in the day that did something that has very a significant impact as our culture. Like Harriet Tubman's one of my favorite people in the world, because not only was she a slave and she went through what she went through, but she did what she did, but went back to get her people. She risked her life to go back and rescue others, right? So that took an immense amount of courage. So her going back, she could have easily got killed or did whatever she did. So that's what I want to do. If I have the opportunity to put myself in a position of power, let me get there. I'm gonna bring y'all with me, but let me get there first. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the necessities that I need to do and handle the position that I'm in, and then I'll bring y'all with me. But y'all got to do right. You know what I mean? And so that's why I want to provide the tools and teach people how to kind of navigate in the world, or navigate in the corporate world, or whatever world you choose to be in. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what I do. And that's what I teach. And I think that it's not enough of us doing those types of things in a language that these kids understand, right? It's like what they see is what they're gonna do. I'm a mom, so I can tell my son to do this, do that. What he's not gonna always listen to me. He's gonna do what he sees me do, right? And sometimes I'm inconsistent with some things, but we as kids, we do that, just like when we were younger, we wanted to just be grown and go to the club and dress up. Yeah, I just think that most of the time, a lot of the people who are kind of suffering mentally, they're just a product of their environment, and they're dealing with trauma from their ancestors that they don't even know. And I don't even think people really understand how trauma affects them, and it affects their brain, and it affects their decisions, and just their just overall quality of life. And I think that they don't have the right type of people to guide them, to show them any different. Like you said, they say, "Oh, we don't need to worry about that," or "Oh, you're tripping. Ain't even something to worry about. There's bigger issues." They say all kinds of different things. But how can you tell somebody what to feel? You know what I mean? It's like liking the same color or not the same color. Like, just because you like red and I like blue, you can't get mad at me because I don't want to like red, or you can't get mad at me because I like blue. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Sure.
it doesn't matter. That should be determined on the type of person that you are. But in this society, that's what we were basically kind of raised on, and kind of the model that they put in front of us. I mean, look at politics. It's either this or that. I mean, look in our community. It's Bloods or Crips. I mean, I don't know if there's more gangs, but I'm pretty sure that there are. But it's usually this or that. So it's like that's just what they're used to. So whenever it comes to just basic conversations or any type of stuff like that, it's either this or that, or, "Oh, if you don't like this, then I don't want to mess with you," or something like that. Or, "Because your views are this way, then I don't want to talk to you." Or, "If you're gay, I don't want to be associated with you." And it's like, it's too much of that going on. And it's like, as a culture, we need to come together, because it's only getting worse. And it's like history is definitely repeating itself. It's like the killings are happening. And then not necessarily that, we have our own culture as Black people, kids killing themselves as early as the age of 8, 9, and 10 years old. And I don't know how much more of an eye opener do we have to kind of put out there for people to see, to understand, like, this is a problem, and this has been a problem for so long. And the great thing about us is that we have the opportunity to change stuff. However, it's like, how are we going to put it out there to make a change, right? Because a lot of these brains are damaged, and a lot of the times people aren't repairing the brain damage that they're having from the trauma that they've experienced. They're just dealing with it, and they're patching it and moving on with life. And that's why they indulge into these bad behaviors, and they think that certain things are okay, like selling drugs or doing drugs or stealing or doing whatever, because they have to hustle and they have to live, because they're only trying to survive. So it's like, you can't even really be mad at those type of people, because they're only doing what they know.
Right. And in our cultures, that's what it's in, like, that's normal, like, and one thing about me and mental health and my outlook on it is because I'm not immune to what I am. And what I mean by that, I am a Black man. No matter how accomplished I am, no matter how much money I get, whenever I step outside the door and whatever car I got, I am an African American man. And I know that
one strike against you.
Right, yeah, especially within the system. And like you bringing up these killings and these gang cultures, and like picking a side, sometimes in life we're forced for that. And that's why I don't really judge. Like I live my life by, like, I don't judge anybody, I don't judge anything. Like I meet you as you are. Now once I meet you and then I come, then okay, it's a little different. But just like being a judgmental person, like that's just something that I don't live by. But what people have to understand, and I had to explain this to a lot of people that's not African American, that don't really understand the system, that, like, when you go to a predominantly Black neighborhood, it's always a high crime area. It's like people are fighting for stuff. And sometimes with with just kids, and just sometimes these young kings, the gangs make them feel like they have family. Some of these people don't have family. Some of these people don't have moms and dads to go to. Some of these people don't have grandparents to go to. Some of these people are escaping from group homes, and they just find, you know what I'm saying? They just
they're going wherever they're getting the love from, wherever they're getting that attention
right, getting that love and showing love back.
I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, go ahead.
For sure. We talk about the group homes and stuff like that. So I did a panel where I was on a Zoom call with the district judge for the Child Protector Services here in Texas, right?
Okay.
And so, you know, she was just talking about all the stuff and that was going on, and like, you know, the runaways and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, well, they're running away because they're not getting properly treated. So if I was in a foster care, I would run away too. If I'm getting sexually abused, if I'm not getting the proper care that I need. A lot of these people that are these kids, where these kids are being placed, some of them aren't good people. It's a lot of sexual abuse that's going on in that type of stuff. And so that's why I want to come in and I want to be able to work with the state and work with those types of individuals, because if I'm keeping track and I'm collecting data on these kids, taking care of their mental health, making sure that they have the proper care, if they need anything, regardless of if these people are treating them right or not, that stuff can be documented. Because what if something happens to this child and they're just a product of what they're going through? Okay, well, this kid has been sexually abused for 7 years. What do you expect for this child to do? I would snap too. And I think that sometimes people who are in higher power, they forget about these stuff. So I'm the type of person, I'm going to tell you that this child is acting the way that they're acting because they're hurt. Just think about it. They've been in 8 different homes. Nobody's loved them. Their parents are on drugs. Just think about that. If I didn't have that love and then you placed me in this house and then they're treating me like shit, I'm going to run away too. So you can't be mad at them. Talk to them first. Instead of ignoring their problem, fix it. They have a mental health issue, address the problem, and then move on. And then if it's something else, then fix that issue. But they're not doing that. And so that's what I do with my business, is like, let me take care of this kid. Like, for repair the trauma that they're having. Their brains are severely damaged by the trauma that they've been through. We don't know if this child has been going through stuff since they were 2 years old. This child is 13, and she probably was getting molested from the age of 7 up until now. Imagine that. Imagine going home to something like that every single day. And that's what people tend to forget. Like, there's some kids out there like that. There's some kids who are amazing at sports, who are amazing academically, and they're going home and they're seeing their moms and dads smoke out of a crack pipe, or seeing their mom having different type of people come in and out of the house and she's prostituting or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what they're going through. And these kids are just a product of their environment. You know, and some people have to really understand that. Don't judge them for what they're doing. Talk to them and see where they're coming from. And then you can realize, like, oh, I see why they're doing this, or, oh, I see why they're on drugs. You know, and that's what happens to a lot of people in the Black community. And then they grow up to be men or grow up to be women, and then they're labeled schizophrenic, right? So it's like, they're not schizophrenic.
Or you have some systems to where, you know, just being honest, that they target these communities. Absolutely. And they go to raise their crime rate just to get money. You know what I'm saying? Because if we get these arrests, but, you know, like, growing up, if you're growing up in these like type of neighborhood, like I remember, and I like just listening to Meek Mill talk, listening to Gilly the Kid talk, which like $1 Million Worth of Game is my favorite podcast, and
I love that shoe.
And like that's what I'm chasing. Like, I tell people all the time, like, that they give me like these goals. I'm like, I'm chasing them. You know, like, I truly believe I'm gonna get there. But Meek Mill was talking about how, man, like, it's like almost 30 to 40 murders, probably more than that every week, like people dying. So if you think about that in Philly, if you a kid that's growing up into that and you don't have, why wouldn't you have a gun? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that children should have guns, and I'm not talking about gun control or none of that, because I don't want it to be watered down with this great conversation that we're having. What I'm saying is, if you look mentally at the environment that they're set in every day, when you open that door, you don't know what's coming.
Right. And you wonder why this kid's angry every single day. If I had to walk out of my house and I didn't know, and I'm seeing a dead body on my way to school, how do you think that's going to affect me mentally? Like, that's some stuff that people can't come back from. And then that's that same little boy who probably could have been in law or a doctor or something sitting on the corner being a wino smoking crack or smoking meth or PCP or something like that. And then you're talking about this person. Well, how do you know this person didn't know how to handle that? And I see that a lot. I've been watching a lot of documentaries on stuff like that, just because I'm just trying to like figure out like what can we do, you know, like what can I do to help. And that's something I've been praying for and asking like God in the universe, like why am I put in this position? Why are these opportunities presented to me? And for some reason I keep doing that, and I don't know if it's because I have parents that are addicts, you know what I mean, and I know how to kind of deal with it a little bit better, and I've accomplished a lot of things with having those type of parents, you know what I'm saying, because some people can't come from back from
Let's unpack that. I really want to unpack that, because what people don't really understand, and it decodes from a mindset of everybody's good or everybody comes from a good situation.
Yeah.
You know, like as a Black man, I lost my dad at a very young age, and like as a baby, so I never even got to grow that connection with him. You know, and what drove me to mental health was I always had like a chip on my shoulder of like, you know, like I don't really need nobody, you know, like I didn't have, like I have a lot of uncles. I got
like you
6
didn't have
uncles.
that sense of belonging.
Yeah, I didn't have that. But like, no, for me, it really was like the guidance that I had people in my life, but it's kind of different because everyone has their own lives. And as you a man and like you have to walk through things, like I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own. Like I played sports. And like I didn't have nobody teaching me nothing like that, you know. Like I had an older cousin, shout out Dez, like who helped me a lot. And like, you know, I appreciate him always to this day. But it's a lot of things as a man that I had to figure out on my own, you know, because God blessed me with a talent to be very, you know, be very good at basketball. So I was traveling, I was seeing the world, and I'm even if I'm meeting women and stuff like that, like my mom broke that down to me, but she broke it down from a woman's perspective, you know, like as a man, I didn't feel like I've ever known that. And I think as I got older, I start to see like, dang, like I wish I had my dad around more, because it's certain things, because when you get older, you realize your mistakes. But I also realized that I didn't have that guidance, and my mental health was very bad to where like I used to be a person, and then I didn't grow up in like I grew up like in a very like my mom, like I always had what I needed, and not by that, but what I'm talking about is like where I'm from, they don't think that you can be on TV. They don't think that you can meet these successful people. They don't think that you can go around the world. They don't view you. They view you as someone in town. That's it. They're not gonna ever view you as someone they would click on to see or something like that. And there's no disrespect to them, but I just felt like my mind, I felt like, not even that I feel like I'm gonna be great. And I feel like I'm going to be that person to bring this awareness and just like bring these things and like be able to talk to artists, being able to talk to community.
And you're just turning your pain into power.
Right. And like I said, like that all stemmed from me losing my father. And to the dads out there, to the dads out there, to people that's in the streets, to people that just if you have kids, please cherish the time that you spend with them, because when kids get older, we start to look at those things like, dang, you know, and then we start to evaluate what type of parent that we eventually had, because it's bad when if you're a man and then you're around people that a good dad and your dad is not that, you notice those things like, dang, like your dad do that, like, you know what I'm saying? And that builds up inner resentment. You know what I'm saying? It builds up inner resentment. But I had to be comfortable with talking about my pain and talking about my trauma. And like as a kid, like
you don't know how to articulate those thoughts. You don't know.
Right. You don't. And then you
start indulging in these bad behaviors because you don't know how, and you act out. And I like that you said that, because I was just talking about that too. Like I didn't know how to talk about the pain that I was dealing with, because even though I was raised really, really well, I never wanted for anything, you know, I had the best of everything. I was still wanting the love from my parents, right? And I never got that. So it was hard for me to see other people's parents do stuff for them, but then I didn't have that. You know, all I had was my grandmother. I had my parents there, but it wasn't the same. You know, I had a different version
That
of.
man, that really hit my heart. Like I played basketball all the time, so you know when like your moms and and the parents come into the games, due to certain circumstances, my mom can come to all my games, and
Mhm.
she was forced to play a role of being bigger than just a mom. You know, like in our communities, what I mean by that, people in our communities is sometimes when people don't have dads, some people might look as you as that. Even though
Right.
you're not, that's the role that you're presented because this is how these kids or these are how these people view you, and you can't shy away from it because even if you do, they're still looking at you, so you got to accept it, like even if you're ready for it or not. And my mom was forced to play, you know, a role of a mother with helping my sister with her kids and stuff, so I didn't really she didn't really get to go to my games. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And like I would see like moms at games and dads at games, and like that shit would break me down, literally, like to a
Oh my
core.
gosh,
Like I used to
I
go,
felt with
I
the
used to
same thing.
be, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to really be like really like mentally, you know, like excuse my language, but fucked up. Like, cause I'm like, dang, like
Because
dang, like I don't get that.
you want that, you want to make your parents proud.
Yeah,
You
yeah. But you
feel
just, you
really
know what I'm saying?
good.
Especially as a black man, you want your dad there. You know,
Yeah.
like literally, like I want, you know, I want pops to be proud of me. You know what I'm saying? And like I think with my mental health, I was struggling with it because I used to never be afraid to die.
Yeah.
Like, but like I never carried myself in that light. Like I'm like if people that know me, you know, like you know Trey for the smile, you know me for the clown, but mentally behind that, it was like I was really battling demons. Like I used to like I never say nothing, but like if a confrontation presented itself, I was never afraid to take it there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
It was
and I
just that
think like a
built-up
lot of
aggression
people,
you
yeah,
had.
yeah, a lot of people get it misconfused because they'll oh, you not like that, you not like I used to really. If you try me, I'm telling you, like I'm
There's
like
just
because I
such
never,
confidence
yeah,
inside.
you know, like you
Like express yourself. So if someone comes
exactly,
out and
exactly. And
that,
then as a kid, my mindset or just like a younger mindset, it was just like if I ever die, I'm going to meet my dad. So I never really, you know, I didn't have a sense of fear in me. Like fear what? You know what I'm saying? Like if something ever happened to me, I'm going to my dad, and I was living reckless. Like,
me
and I
too.
don't
I was taking penitentiary chances.
man, like I don't mean by no street stuff, no knowledge of that. It's just like as people know, like when you play basketball, you know, you talk trash. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I'm traveling, I'm across the world, and I'm talking at this rage and this like we can take it whatever you want to take it. You know, like I don't like whatever you want to do, we can do. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of people question, but I'm just like, all right, if it get to that, I'm gonna show you. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think sometimes, like, I still like I live that way, not willing to take it there, you know, to die, but like, just my mindset, like, I be having to like, all right, like, I gotta chill. Like, what if confrontation presents itself? You know, because I never run from confrontation. Like, I'm always okay with this and that, you know. But as a young kid, I felt like because I didn't have my dad there, like, for instance, and this is crazy, I'm gonna speak on this, people used to want me to play them in basketball for money, right? And like you had these older men that's around town, like they would say things about me, you know, like question my heart, question my character, just because like I'm a kid from Cameron, so going to Lake Charles, it's like a city for me. Like Cameron, we don't have no mainstream nothing, but like people would sit there and say, you not this or you not that, or like on my high school team, like one of my best friends' name is Zoe. Like him and Dave was like the best basketball players or whatever, but like people would just like down me. Like anything I did, like if I played good, oh he trash, he can't do this. I bet he can't beat this person. And
Yeah.
like I wouldn't reply to it, but inside it would be eating me up. So when I started playing people for money, like my cousin will hype it up too, because in our culture, this is normal. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody trying you, like, you know, so as a kid, I'm like, you know what? I would let it build up into me to where I couldn't sleep. And I'd be like, you know what? Call them. Like I'm ready to play. You know what I'm saying? And then, but like it was so personal for me. Like my cousin know that you know, like I'm gonna beat him, like I'm gonna kill him. But the mentality I had was like, you're not beating me. You know, like I'm really, you know, I'm really like that. And just to prove to everybody, and I would beat people bad, like terrible. You know what I'm saying? And like when my cousin would give me the money, he'll tell you I wouldn't even take it. I'll take like $20, give him like, and we was playing for like, man, over like I don't even know, like 4 to 500 side bets and all type of stuff. But it just was never personal for me because I felt like people questioned my character. But I felt like I had to prove that to them because I didn't have a dad. So I had to prove that to older men. And I realized, like, as I left and like I went to college and still, like, I just went home recently and I heard somebody was calling me out. And like, I really just laugh at that because like, I would never put myself in the position to play basketball for money. And I don't even play basketball, you know, like just to be playing for people to prove myself to them. When in reality, I don't really care about what you think about me. You know what I'm saying? Like these people around town can say what they want. They can say, but that really don't bother me. I don't care. Like, you know, and like I had to like mentally understand as a man. Cause you know, somebody try you like, oh, well, I'm gonna show you. It's like when you reach a certain type of mental elevation, you look at people and you laugh. Like, oh yeah, I'm this. I am. Well, I bet you won't. I won't. Like well, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
Well, I really appreciate the courage that you have to tell your story. That's very powerful, impactful. I think that there's a lot of boys out there like you. And even I'm sorry to hear that your dad passed away, but you know, there's a lot of kids who don't have a dad at all. And there's some kids that have a dad that take care of their other kids and they don't take care of, you know, them. You know, so I think that your story is impactful and you need to share it. It takes a lot of courage, I know, and it's kind of difficult to talk about, but I'm very relatable with that because, you know, my situation is very similar, but I told you my parents are addicts. And I've always wanted them there too. So I've always done great. And even now I still kind of feel myself getting to that pattern. Like I have to do great. I have to do this. I have to be the best. I have to make straight A's. I have to do this. Like I can't not do this because growing up, people would always be like, oh, you're going to grow up like your mom. Oh, you're going to grow up like your dad. You know what I mean? They would say stuff like that to me. And even though I may have some of their person out there, some of their ways or whatever, because I am kind of a wild child. However, I've always taken care of everything that I needed to take care of. Right. You got to understand, those are still my parents, right? You know what I'm saying? So I can't take away what they have in them that I'm like them. But I'm better than them and I'm going to be greater than them. Even though they had me, I'm still going to represent them. And I don't care what nobody say. That's who my parents are and look who I am today. Do you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what they do, I can talk about them, but you can't talk about them. And look who they had and look what I do. Now what's up? Right. You know, that's kind of like my mentality right now. Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You can say all that, but look, you know what I mean? Look what they had. You didn't think that y'all thought I was going to come out to be somebody. Now look at me. I'm talking about mental health and I'm actually helping people dealing with people, kids in situations like myself, because I think that is what's going to help the kids is by having people like you and I who've actually been through it and knows that feeling and then can identify with the children. And I know that we talked about this at the beginning. You said that you know, people being relatable to you for certain type of things. You know, I think that is a big piece of what's missing with children is that they don't have a lot of people that are relatable to them. And so since they don't have that sense of connection with people who have been through the same thing, it's hard for them to kind of get past it. Because it's like, how are you going to tell me how to get over what I've been through and you don't know what the hell out of it?
No, right. And that's the first thing people say about like you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like like they want you to be able to have went through something so you can fully understand them. And for some people, my challenge with them would be, I understand that, but you have to understand too, pain is similar. Like that, and that's the
psychological pain.
Yeah, that's the difference with a lot of things. Like I wasn't in the streets like that, but like I have people that I grew up with literally. Like I used to be with them every day. Like we grew up, like shared food together. And they went to the streets. You know what I'm saying? I had to correct people out here too, because they say, Trey, wow, you're not like other people. What does that mean? You know, like, hold on, wait. No. I come from that. Don't get it twisted. Like don't get it twisted. Like you know what I'm saying? I just chose not to do that. And in today's world, we have people that want to come from those situations, but they don't even understand what that means.
They don't know how. They don't
know. And you can tell whenever you can tell who know what they talk about. You can tell who really been through some stuff.
And you can tell who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, and exactly. And like it's just it's some people take it as a game. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a game. And like with people don't realize, and I'll say this again. I live in Louisiana, I can meet somebody in Portland, Oregon right now that's probably been in the streets and like family been in the streets, and no, I have not lived that life, but I could have. Like anybody can choose that now. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a lot of people that's, like they're faking that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not hard to do. You want to go sell weed, go buy weed, take it, and then become a weed man. Like I literally have, like family people that have done this, and like have done time and stuff. And for me, like, you don't have to, but that's what you chose to do. You know what I'm saying? And like,
then they'd be mad that they can't do anything as an adult. Well, hey, the decisions that you made as a child affected your future. And that's something that I tell the students that I coach, like, look, think about the decisions that you make right now, because they can impact your future. If you get a felony at this early of your age, like you're going to have a hard time getting an apartment, a car, a house.
And it's a system.
And then you're mad.
Right. It's a system
grimy stuff to kind of do it. No, be mindful of what you're doing, because it could cost you your future. It's serious when people say that. Like, you don't have to do this type of stuff. There's a way to do it. And with today and how everything is going, there's so many different ways to make money. If you want to sell dope,
so many alleyways. I mean, I say that all the time. If
you broken like, today, you want to dope that you can sell on the internet if you choose to do that.
Get in your car, make money, literally, like,
and do that. Right. I just think that they don't have people talking to them like that, and they only see that's the only way out. Right. So saying that is a question that I ask a lot of teenagers that I talk to. Who's your role model? And a lot of them is like, what? Some of them will say like YouTube stars. And I'm like, why? Like, why is this, because he's making a lot of money, he gets to stay at home and play the game. Okay, well, that's cool. But like, what impact is he doing to the world? He's probably privileged. His parents probably supported him to do this thing, and he became who he is. Sometimes as Black people, we don't have that. So sometimes
and in Black people, I will say, because at first I had a mindset of and this is I have to say this with this aspect. These people that's on YouTube, that's able to make a living and do things. You know what I'm saying? I think in our society, we have to open our minds up for our young kings to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. Right. Like for these young kids that's 8 years old playing Fortnite, making millions of dollars, but we're sitting there, and not that we want our kids on the game. I like, as a kid, I love the game. Like my niece and nephews, they love the game.
Let me teach you how to make the game.
Right. Make it. Yeah, right. But no, but even that, what I'm saying
developer.
Right. What I'm saying is our mentality as African, like, we have to be more open into what that is, because if a kid like to play the game, okay, let's invest to that. Let's get them a camera. Let's do, because you never know if you have these parents these days, and I'm not saying that they're profiting off their kids, but they understood.
They see the value of what they're doing.
Race. Okay, if he gonna play the game, let me go get him a camera. Let me get him the full setup. So if he's able to make money, we can. And now you have these kids that's 8. Literally, you got kids I seen a kid 8 years old making millions.
Better than us.
You know what I'm saying? Like playing the game, but that's a passion for him. He loved the game. You know what I'm saying? And you can make money off of that. Like that's really a job for him. Like, they pay people to play games. So what I'm saying is, with this new world and these new resources, as African Americans, we got to stop this basketball. We got to stop this football. We got to stop this track. We got to stop this
and that's what I teach. I teach different routes of like what
different.
You don't necessarily have to like be a rapper or do this. There's so many different things that you can do. Let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to create a business plan, because you never know if what your idea has is something that can take off. But you have to know what you're doing. You have to understand it, but what you're doing, and I think that's one thing that a lot of parents don't do, is they invest into the wrong things. It's like you're investing into basketball and football. What about their mental health?
Investing into Michael Jordan.
What about
Michael George Jays? I said Michael Jordan.
So what are you teaching them? And then you're mad when they grow up and then they're not doing what you want them to do. Well, I mean, what did you put in front of them? They're only doing what you put in front of them. So that's something that I am very, very big on. It's like, let me show you how to do something. If you want to make money, let me show you how to put that on paper, and let me show you how to create steps so that you can do it. If you're not good in school, let me show you the entrepreneur route. If you want to do some online stuff, let me show you how to do that and get monetized, and so you understand what you're you're doing. Don't just be doing stuff and then put it out there and then it's something crazy and then you're stuck with it for the rest of your life, like OnlyFans or something. Yeah, don't wait to turn 18 just so that you can do that. If that's something that you want to do, how are you going to brand yourself doing that? You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about it. Don't just go out there doing it and then you do this for 2 or 3 years and then you do all this crazy stuff and then you're depressed and you're sad and then you have to do more different, crazier stuff because you've already started. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. If that's what you choose to do, fine. Just make sure you're doing it in a way that's going to benefit you and that's not going to cost you any type of mental health stuff, right? If you want to be a seller, like, let me show you the right type of stuff to sell. There's so many different things online that you can sell. And I tell people, though, if you want to sell dope, get into some legal dope. You don't gotta you gotta watch over your back. Everything is counted for, and you're doing the right thing. And you can make twice as much money.
Right.
With less consequences and less craziness. Because you got to deal with a lot of stuff like that. People don't show you everything that you got to deal with being in the game. Right.
But yeah, see, and not even to cut you off, but I gotta tell you, the things that you're speaking about is showing them the business plan, showing them like you said, OnlyFans, okay, how you're gonna present that. And that's something that's lost within our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking next level things. Okay, well, if you want to sell drugs, but it's a mental thing to know. Okay, now you're dealing with corporations, so your image means something. Exactly. What you post means something. And you speaking of those things, like, I think you're gonna be great, Queen. I think you're gonna impact millions of lives, and I say millions, not just like I think around the world, because it's so true and it's so impactful. And I think like these are the resources that we need.
And I don't want to tell people that they can't do something. Hey, you're free to be who you are, right? I want you to be who you are. So whatever line of work that you choose to do, let me teach you a way to do it to where you're not going to go into a deeper hole. Because once you're there, you're there. And I think as kids, we don't see the future. Because I can say that for myself. I didn't think I was going to get in trouble for anything that I've done. And although I may not have gotten into trouble for some of the things that I've done, I took a lot of penitentiary chances. Did a lot of things that could have cost me my life. Right. However, I was raised and I had a foundation to where I was scared to kind of get in trouble because my parents expected more of me, right? So if I'm on your team and I expect more for you, you're going to feel bad about doing what you're doing, especially if I'm talking to you, I'm giving you this information, I'm putting you in positions to where you can win. And a lot of the times they don't have that. And that's what I want to do. Let me put you in a position to win, but I need you to take off. Don't have me believe in you more than you believe in yourself. It's one thing that I always tell them. Do not have me believe in you more than you believe in yourself.
I literally just posted a reel on that too. Like on my Instagram page, it literally says, never let someone believe in you more than you believe in yourself.
Absolutely. Don't do that. That's like a recipe for disaster. I mean, it's a recipe for letdown. It's a recipe for disappointment.
I want you to talk about these kids that are going through, like these kids that are in these communities that they feel like they can't do things, like they feel like I can't sell drugs legally, or I can't be a great person because I come from this. Some people in our communities, they think because of where they come from, they only can be in that square, in that town, or like they can't be great in the world. And I want you to kind of talk about from your experiences and just like experience of kids that you work with that come from these broken homes, so people can understand like the trauma, the depression, the anxiety, like all that impacts a child. So
yes, it definitely impacts the child, and it's not, and this is how I try to position it when I talk to them. Like, it's not your parents' fault, right? They're only doing what their parents taught them. And they're only doing what their parents taught them, right? And some people just don't know. But as a human, as an individual, and as a human today, we have the opportunity to change that, right? So we have every opportunity to change everything that we go through. Look at all the famous people in the world. Everybody has a story. Some people's story is greater than others, and some people, they've been through some crazy stuff. I mean, you can go through a list of athletes. Like, look, these people came from the hood. You know what I mean? Look at Shannon Sharp. You know, look where he came from
Right.
back in the day, and look where
Respect
he
that
is.
Shannon Sharp. Love that man.
You know what I'm saying? I love Shannon Sharp, and look where he is, and that's why I love him, because he is who he is, and he stands up for what he believes in, and he knows where he came from, and he's not forgetting where he came from.
And I
He's
love
making
how
sure
he
he
holds.
puts it out there,
Yeah, right. And
not
I
where
love how he
he
holds people of our color like accountable, because a lot of times we
exactly.
get, yeah. But go
And
ahead.
it's like when you put yourself in a position of power, that's what you're supposed to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can say, "Oh, well, this he's acting white or Uncle Tom or whatever." No, I'm where I need to be. You should be happy I am where I am. And if you talk to me, you'll see where I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you guys to understand that it doesn't matter where you come from. You can become anything that you want to be. We had a black president. Who
Mm.
thought we were going to have a black president?
No one. My grandmother cried. I never forget. I'll never get the day. Man, respect the president. I'm gonna meet him one day too. And
I say that too.
I'm gonna meet him one day. And when I say I'm gonna meet him, like he gonna know who I am. You know,
Yes,
like
both of us.
not the other way around. Like, oh hey, I met. No, like, hey, I've looked at your work and I'm excited to meet you. Things.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
gives that sense of hope. And there's a lot of people that give hope. And I just think that, you know, there's a lot of things that are invisible that are kind of hard to believe. And there's a lot of things that are invisible that are hard to develop, like courage, you
Mm.
know, hope, happiness. You know, people don't know what that is. So it's like, how do you tell somebody to be happy? How do you tell somebody to do these things when you can't see it? Right. That's
Mm.
something that's within. And you try to explain that. And it's like, those are some things that cannot be explained. That's something that you have to figure out on your own, because what's happy to you is what's happy to you. You know, don't let anybody else dictate your happiness, because it's not up to them. You have to be happy for you. Right. And if you want to be happy, you have to be willing and ready to make those changes, because what you aren't changing, you're choosing, you know,
Mm.
and nobody can't tell you anything any differently, because you're choosing it at this point, especially when you become an adult and you've kind of dealt with the same thing for so long. Like at this point, you're choosing to be where you are, you know, like everybody can provide you the resources. You can have all the greatest people around you. But if you don't want to make that change, that's nothing nobody else can do for you. So at this point, sometimes people have to kind of just sit back and let you just choose what you choose to do,
Right.
you know?
And sometimes it's hard to see, just see people that you know with so much great potential or can be great at something, but they don't even have the mental fortitude to know, like, I can do that.
I
You know,
know.
like, and
That.
it's a lot. It happens a lot. Like, I see people that are very talented that could be the next Shannon Sharp, that can go up there, like, talk sports and just like beyond great, but they don't even have that, like, I can do that, you know, that mindset. And I kind
Because
of
they
feel
lack self-efficacy, which is just
Mhm.
believing in
Right,
themselves.
right.
And
And
that's something that I teach.
right,
You have to believe in yourself.
you
You have
have
to
to.
shut off the noise, whatever is around you, and you have to learn how to take constructive criticism from people who have been in this lane.
Mhm.
And you have to understand when people actually really care for you, not fake care and only care because you're indulging in what they're doing, but
Mhm.
when they really care about you and they're telling you about yourself, like, I'm concerned about you. Why
Mhm.
weren't you in class? Like, I'm really fighting for you. There's a lot of coaches in college who do that in high school. Like, I'm really fighting for you guys. And some people don't know how to read that language is because they've never had it. Like you said, you've never had a dad. So getting, you know, coaching from like a coach or something, it's kind of hard for sometimes people to receive that, because
No.
if they've never had it, they think that they're talking crazy. Well, oh, they ain't gonna talk to me like this, or woo 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 whoop or whatever. But no, they actually care about you enough to say something. If they didn't care about you, they would not say anything to you.
And
But
to the
for this
people that's
person,
out there, right. Oh, let me get this cut, because this is very important. I gotta tell you. Oh my God, yeah, for
see,
sure.
I'm bringing all this stuff to your
And
spirit. Y'all see that,
yeah,
y'all? This is what I do.
for sure, for
Morphing
sure. This
minds,
is what I do,
baby.
and this is what I preach to young kids that talk to me, that need advice and stuff. I tell them, whenever they get to a certain level of playing basketball, never listen to the tone. Don't look at the facial expression, but listen to the message. Listen to what he's saying. So no matter however it comes out, please allow your mind just to listen to what he's trying to say, because sometimes it'll be all this rah rah stuff, and in reality, nobody gonna put their hands on you, but they're walking over like it's something.
But they're not used to it.
Right,
so when
right.
it happens, they're like, oh, what's up?
Right.
Okay, well then let's go. No, that's not what you need
but
to do.
If you listen to the message, you probably just saying you need to box out. Box out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I see the potential in you.
Right,
right. The potential in yourself.
That's the passion of wanting to.
They don't understand that passion. They can be passionate, but they don't understand when passion's directed towards them. They don't have that filter to see, oh, he really does care about me. Oh, he really is trying to tell me how to get better. But instead, they're going in the locker room after they get done, man, coach is tripping and da-da-da-da-da. But in reality, they need to go have a conversation with coach. Hey, I didn't understand what you were saying on the court. You know, maybe I took it this way. And that's a conversation where the coach can be like, look, man, I believe in you. You got something.
But I will say this, though. I don't think a lot of coaches like understand to where different players are coached differently. And some coaches say,
so glad did you say that.
Yeah. Some coaches say that, you know, like and even people. Like I tell people all the time, I could talk to people a certain way and I can't talk to like, I got a friend where every time I see him, I'm talking about him, like trying to like break his soul. And he's
glad you said that, because what I want to do is I'm working on being able to do mental health assessments for schools. But what I want to do is make sure, I'm going to be becoming a mental health first aid at the end of May, I think, or something like that.
Congratulations, Queen. Go ahead.
I want to be able to become an instructor. So whenever I'm going to these schools, I can talk about mental health, but talk about mental health on a cultural level. Because I feel like that's important. And I think that we need to put some psychology into that as well and teach the teachers that each kid learns differently. And not only that, but they receive things differently. And I want to be able to do an assessment to kind of talk to these kids to see, okay, well, this kid doesn't respond well to this because this is how this kid is. This kid has a lot of trauma that they're dealing with. So maybe you need to kind of tread a little bit lightly when you're talking to them, you know, and some kids need that more of aggressive approach, but some kids need to be like, hey, you know, hey, Mallory, like, get it together, you know.
Right. And like I said, follows my point. Like people receive information differently. And like let me finish this coaching segment, and then I want to talk to you about even colleges, because I work at at like a college or whatever. Like I have worked at a college, and like the way I had to talk to people and explain it was different from different people. But if a coach oh man, hold on, shoot, I lost my thought. Right. So when I was in college, and I went to a Bible school, which I did not know. But the way I play basketball, I'm from Louisiana. It's grime, it's grit. Obviously, I'm playing for money as a kid, but I'm around a whole bunch of church kids. And when I'm on the court, I'm talking trash, like you weak, you know, and people tore me down. Like I had like teammates that did not like me. They didn't want to be around me, all because of a version of me that's on the basketball court. But for me, like to get out of town, I have to be the best at this. Like I have to fight for everything. So when we get on this floor, it's me or you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not respecting nobody, no nothing. And for me, like even to this day, like I'm an alumni there now because I've graduated, but I still don't really connect with some of those people just because like before they got to know me, they judged me. You know what I'm saying? Like they looked at me as like man, he's not a good person. Like look how he talks to people. But it was, for me, it was just basketball, and like I had to fight that too, just with the coach. And respect to the coach. Yeah, respect to. But like the way it was, like it was a very bumpy start. Like I got into it with my coaches, and it was very bad for me to start off because they're like, what do you think this is? And I came from a JUCO, you know, it's like, oh, this is not JUCO. Like, oh no, you can't do that. And what it did, like it drained my game, I think. Because like it's not that I need to talk trash to tear people down, because that's what casual people do, or like people that don't really understand or don't really understand the love for the game. They see somebody talking trash, or they see somebody playing with this certain type of aggression, or like, you know, like shrugging, like
it's just the confidence that they lack in your
right, and they try to tear you down, like, oh well, if you need to do that, then you're not. And it's not the case. They don't understand the dynamic of where you grew up, the dynamic of what you had to go through just to get on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So if you a kid out there and you struggling with that, Like, please
And
don't
then
let that
also it's where you come from. Like,
right,
I'm not a very
right.
confrontational person. Like, I don't really like roast or rag. I didn't
I ain't
even.
gonna lie, I'm totally opposite. If you say
That's
something,
what I'm saying.
say
So if
something about
you were to
me, oh
be
yeah, well,
online and
I
we were
hope you
talking,
can
like,
take it.
now I'm good for it. But like back then, I wasn't used to that. So whenever I would hang out with people, I'd be like, "Why are you being so mean to me?" And they'd be like, "Oh, I'm just playing. Take a joke. Like, learn how." And so it took a while for me to even kind of
It's
like
a
get.
line. It's a line from
And
that too.
I just wasn't used to that type of language, because
For
I
sure.
went to school around a lot of different white people.
Mhm.
Um, even in elementary school, like I was one of maybe two kids in my class that were Black. And then middle school, I was like maybe one of three. And then high school got a little bit better as I became a senior. But, I was always one of a few. So there wasn't a lot of that I was used to. And then whenever I really started hanging with people, with our culture and going to the hood and stuff, it was just very different. And they're just like, "We gotta toughen you up, girl." And I used to be like, "I'm just not used to that. I just don't be ragging on people every single day." But that's a language that we speak in our culture. It's
Right.
normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
And
think
that's
that some
yeah.
people don't know how to handle that. And I think that's a conversation to have with, different types of people. And I think as a coach, that's something that you should talk to the team about it as well, because it's like, you got to understand, you have all these different kids in college that are coming from all different places. And if you want to have your team in sync, if you want to win, and if you want to be on one accord, all of your people need to be in sync. So you
Mhm.
need to talk about the culture differences that you're having, as well as some of the mental health stuff as well, because you could be affecting the number one player on the team. As a team, you should want all of us to win, and you should want everybody to play at their best, right? So how are you letting this one person, I'm not saying, we'll use you an example, how you could be a fire to the team. That may be the spark that the team
Was
is
best.
for them to kind of get under them and be like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? Versus everybody just being quiet and like, "How y'all gonna let this team come over here and just talk trash to us and we not saying nothing?" I can't do it for all of us. Do you know what I'm saying? But then I think if that's a conversation to be had, I guess you can say taunting or whatever, however, whatever
Yeah,
language.
but I just think that's channeled and that's watered down. Like, and just speaking to the school that I went to, this is a
Was
school
it
that
like
has
was it a junior college or was it just
no, I'm talking about no, it was a university, but they have a long ways to go before, like, when I went there, it was and just to speak on it, like, I went through a lot of systematic racism at this college.
or was it
Not
like predominantly like a white school?
Yes, yeah, it's like
Oh,
98% white. Like, they
oh.
when I was there, I literally stood out, and I'm dark skinned. I was literally
So
a
they
chocolate
profiled you
piece
for sure.
in a
I'm
glass of
sure.
milk. Yeah, yeah. I went through a lot of things, like, I don't want to, like, bring up everything that I went through. That would be a whole lot, but it's just like knowing how to talk. Like, I had to, like, press professors, like, even because these are predominantly white people. They all, like, homeschooled their whole life, and then the way that they talking to me, I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, like, I'm a student and I understand, but, like, just to be honest, you not about to talk to me like this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a man at the end of the day too. I know you're a teacher, but we both grown here. Like we gotta have a certain type of level of respect. You know what I'm saying? And, like, just mentally, me knowing if that was somebody else that didn't tolerate, didn't have a mental fortitude to say, like, I want to graduate, so I'm not gonna react. Like, it would have been a whole bunch of problems. But, like, I think, all due respect to the school, like they taking leaps, but they got a long way to go. Like, it's a lot of
And
things.
I think it'll come around, I think, and I say this, and
Hopefully,
I've been saying this forever, the world is becoming more blended. So eventually everybody's going to be blended with something,
right.
like it's going to be a minority. So, and the people who had these types of ways are eventually going to fall off due to natural
Oh, yeah,
causes.
yeah, yeah, for sure. The school is a lot more diverse now. It's a lot
Yeah.
more like I said, they're taking leads, but they still have a ways to go. But, like, when I was there, I was fighting for a lot of different things. Like, for instance, like, my first day there, and I said this on the my first episode, like, BET was blocked.
Really?
And yeah, like, at a university, BET was blocked. And I had a friend or whatever, the dude, he was like the man of the school. Like, basketball, when I say the man, you the best player. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he was talking to me about the school, whatever, and, like, hey, like, this and that. And, like, I was like, oh, okay. And like I seen him do a lot of work within the school. So when I seen it, I'm like, I started to look at him a little different, respect to him. Like we still like we got like some type of relationship. Like we not cool, but we casual. You know what I'm saying? But like I looked at him different. I'm like, so you ain't see this the whole time, but I guess he didn't know or something like that. But he had spoke on it and they had changed it. But like just for a bigger, if that was around, like if I was a celebrity and that happened, I went to that school, it would have been some problems. You know what I'm saying? And not to
and if you weren't level-headed enough.
Right, yeah, for sure.
So
like why is BET blocked the whole channel? Not a movie on the channel, the whole like. You know what I'm saying? But
Black culture rules everything. Black culture is America, so
like girls say period.
Huh?
Like y'all women be saying girls period. Like girls like period. Like they say so. Nah, that's funny.
Period.
Period. Right. nah, for sure.
Well, this was great. It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's been an hour and a half. I was gonna say, yeah. Let's take a little take a little break. Bit. Yeah.
Or
and now, this segment, I used to call it giving people their flowers, but I'm changing it. I'm calling it decoding the real. And what that means is I'm gonna just be real and I'm gonna just say what I mean and just give flowers, but also be real to the person that I have on the show. And for you, I want to say that meeting you was, even though we're online, just you reaching out to me, saying that you're a fan of my work, that really meant everything to me. Also, like me being able to look at your page and just to like, even though we talked for a little bit, just to know like what you come from and what you overcame. I want to say that, like you're amazing. Just the mother that you are to your kids. Like I don't know everything in the aesthetics, but I know what you're trying to do. And I'm an energy person. So I know that you work very hard to give them the best life, because we talked about that a little bit on our conversation. So I just want to give you your flowers on that. I want to give you your flowers on your dreams and your goals that you're going to accomplish. Like, no, I won't or I will, you're going to do them. You know what I'm saying? And like, you really bring a sense of light and joy. Your energy is like infectious, and you sunflowers is like, it brightens up my day. So I want to say like, that's a testament to your personality. So this is for me, Decoding 2 Sides of the System. Like, thank you for everything. Like you're amazing for sure. Like, I just want to give you.
Oh, you're gonna have me cry. Come on.
Oh no, don't cry. And like,
I work really hard and I put a lot of work into this, and it's not about me, it's about helping others. And on my spiritual journey, I was asking God in the universe, why am I here? Why am I on this earth? And this is something that just happened, and I didn't have a plan on working in mental health, and here I am.
And lastly, now I know we're short on time. Let me get to it. So what are your top 3 celebrities or just people that you look up to? They ain't even got to be celebrities, like people that you like, oh, like I aspire to be that, or I want to do something like that. 3 people.
First, I would say Sway Calloway.
Okay.
I love Sway Calloway, and the reason why is because he is very iconic and legendary in our society. He has a way of talking to people and they listen, and he provides information that a lot of people take in. And every day he gets on there, and it's not about him. He tries to impact the world in some kind of way. And I'm so grateful for that. I mean, he got to sit with the president. I mean, that's what I want to do. He gets to sit and talk for a living and do what he wants to do. And he makes a lot of money doing that. Not just making a lot of money, but he impacts a lot of lives as well. And that's something that I want to be able to do. When he speaks, people listen, and I want to do the same thing. I want to have my own universe like he has Sway's universe. Sure. So that's one of my persons that I really, really admire and I love, and I strive to be exactly like him. Is why I listen every day. I've been listening to him for years. Ever since he was on MTV News. He was somebody who was in a realm of people that wasn't not like him, and he was himself. You know, he didn't change who he was to please anybody, and he's always been very consistent with who he was, and I admire that. And that's something that I admire to be like too, because it's hard when you have a lot of outside influences, people trying to tell you what to be or what to do, but he stayed firm on that. And look at him today. You know, he has his own day, and that's something that I would love to have, is, you know, a mental health, a morphing mind day or something like that, just, or a month or something like that, just helping our teenagers become better. And another person is Mike Muse, because he really educates us on the political stuff, and people listen to him. That's the only person that I really listen to when it comes to political news. And I think he used to work with Obama as well. But for him to be where he is and in a position of power and still come and talk to the community and be consistent with it every single Monday, I think is when he comes on. And then I think he has his own show as well. So just for him to make a living talking about politics, that's amazing. I would love to have that, you know, my own radio show, just talking about mental health and empowering kids, you know. So those are my two. And then Angela Wright, I love her. I love how she's just unapologetically her. You know, she does the political stuff as well. You know, she's in a position of power as well, and she's not backing down either. You know, she's standing firm for her culture. She's not afraid to address some of these racial situations, and I love that. I really want to be like her, because she'd be up there and she'd just be talking it, and that's what I want to do too. I want to be able to fight for my culture in a politically correct way, you know, and have the courage and have just the mental stamina not to care what people say, and just to be in front of a crowd of people who don't look like me and own it. Like, this is what it is, and I'm standing by that, and there's nothing that you can say. And I want to be able to spit facts and be well educated and be like, look, I'm just like you too. I just have a different point of view. So those are my three people that
That's three. And Tom is short. Last thing I gotta ask, I have to ask everybody.
I gotta keep going.
Book list. Give me 3 books that you recommend, or to the world, to the podcast that's gonna see this, 3 books like that you recommend that can brighten their mind on anything, not just mental health, just on anything, on life.
I like Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's really good.
Great book. Read that. Great book.
The one from Napoleon Hill.
What, The Art of War?
No.
What? Which one about Napoleon? I read it.
I love this book.
Oh, Think Rich, Grow Rich. Did I read that? I think I read that. Yeah, I read that. I read that too. Yeah, I read that. Okay, yeah.
Yes, this is a good one. And then 48 Laws of Power. I like that.
Oh, I love, that's my favorite book. I read that too. Dang, I read all 3 of those. Yeah, hey, I'm telling y'all, hey, those books are dope. So thank you. I'll put her stuff up so y'all can follow and subscribe. And blessings to you, Queen. And it was very great connecting. We're definitely going to do more work in the future.
Yes, I can't wait. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you watching, and thanks so much for having. And this is not the last time that you will see this pretty face and this mister right here. We're going to change the world talking about mental health, y'all. So get ready.
Period.
Don't feel the need to check on me. Need you to know. Yeah. I'm all sound with a sober mind. Swear that shit so divine. When I had long days, I pull some wine. Them short nights of sleep killing me over time. It's open eyes to my bank account. It's over.